Hi everyone, it's Jen Balco from Always on My Way. And this week we're going to have a mindful writing exercise. Some of you may know this, some of you may not, but I have been a journalist, a writer, an author, a storyteller, an editor for about 27 years. And this year particularly, I find it incredibly important for all of us to do some writing in a way that's cathartic, in a way that helps us bridge our narrative and connect the dots of our own story and our own lives. And I think it's really important now because the world is waking up to a different place than it was just a handful of months ago. And our voice is essential to the reshaping of the world that we would like to live in. So I'm doing these videos and I'm offering some workshops about this as well, of how we can start getting into our story and start piecing together the parts of our narrative that really need to be expressed in a big way, either just for ourselves or really out into the world so that we can carry this message into our lives. I'm going to share this screen right now because one of the real simple exercises that we can do is simply to begin to access some of our memories. And when we start accessing some of our memories, we can start recognizing the narrative around it. So this is what I'm calling the lifeline of milestone moments. And I want you to grab a pen and paper and do this exercise. Take a few minutes to notice how much you have accomplished in life and to be able to look back on these accomplishments and say, wow, I really did this. In another video, we'll work on vulnerability, but for now, let's start with some of just the key moments of your life. So the way I see it is life is sort of more of a wave. I also see it as overlapping circles, but for simplicity, we'll just start with this wave because I think it's an easy way to begin to think of your lifeline in your story. Put even years on one side, odd years on the bottom of the line. It doesn't matter. We're just wanting to have um, have a way of recognizing where we've been so far. And pick a decade. Pick a decade. Maybe it was your 20s or your 30s or your 40s or your 50s or your 60s. And pick one. You can do this for your whole life. And if you have the time, go ahead and do that. Take the time to do it. It will be an enlightening experience for sure. But for the time being, pick a decade where you feel you had the most impact. Pick a decade where you feel that you had arrived, where you had great success or great achievement in however you define that. And think about the moments that were not so shiny. Maybe there were moments that were really difficult, and maybe they happened around the same time as your success. There's a whole sequence of exercises that we can do around this and that I'm doing in some of these workshops. But for now, mark whatever milestones really played a significant part of this decade. Whatever this 10-year stretch of your life look like, and just mark them and be really, allow whatever comes up to show up and just put them there on the timeline. And then take a minute to reflect on each of them as you write down what that significant milestone was. Be really mindful about this because when you start seeing these this this whole expression of you on a timeline, you can have this great impact in the world, right? You can see where you grew and expanded as a person, where you got stuck, where you were uncertain, where you were maybe insecure. And and do this. And then when you feel ready, begin to build this out and put words around it. Do some wild and free writing around it, free form writing, no editing, no analyzing, no overthinking, simply writing words and meaningful words, what these moments meant to you, and see where it takes you. Right? Stay tuned. There'll be more information coming um, about some more of these mindful writing moments. There's some information below about the workshops that I'm doing. And we'll see where this next phase of the journey takes us. See you later.